Hey, this is Kit Cabell of Harlan's Media. We are at UE Hall covering an event for Socialist Alternative, the branch here in Chicago. I'm joined here with Joan. Pàmies. Thank you for joining us. So essentially, what are your concerns about Trump Care, and overall, can anything be done to establish a single-payer universal health care here in the United States?
Right. Well, the first concern is that this bill is extremely likely to throw out of coverage millions of people, and we're not the ones saying this. This is actually something that we know from like a nonpartisan study. That's the first concern. So I mean, anything that will jeopardize, working people's health, well, that is a concern that we have. Regarding your other question, what can be done? Can we stop this? We think we do. We think we can. We think, however, that in order to do that, we need to have massive popular support. It will not happen with a small organization, of 10, 20, 30 people, just trying to go around, and doing that. It'll happen when we mobilize a significant portion of the working people in this country who are perpetually in the streets demanding this mess, basically, to stop. That's the forum to stop this kind of things.
It's quite clear during the 2016 election cycle, then candidate Bernie Sanders was really making the idea of a universal health care here in the United States as a possible solution. But after the election cycle, it seems that there's pushback, especially from the Democrats, from embracing that idea, most notably from Nancy Pelosi, as well as single-payer health care being blocked in California. Can there be reform in the Democratic Party to support Bernie Sanders' political ideals, and is the Democratic Party officially lost in your mind?
I think it's very unlikely they will support a single payer. I'm not going to say they won't, I don't know the future, but I think it's unlikely primarily because healthcare today in this country is a business for profit. There are corporations making money out of people's health there. Corporations who have ties to certain Democrats, right? Recently, a few months ago, Bernie Sanders tried to pass a bill in the Senate, exactly, to make sure that people could purchase, drugs from Canada because they were cheaper there than in the U.S. If I remember correctly, over 10 Democrats voted against that. They voted against drugs being cheaper for working people. I think that's evidence of the fact that they are not willing to pursue this sort of agenda, and I think that we should be skeptical of their alleged interest to pursue that. Hence, we think that ultimately we need some form of third party, some form of like a third platform that transcends bipartisanship to really work towards a single payer.
Of course, there are some challenges for third parties to get on a ballot or even be on a debate stage. So how long will that fight, in your mind, last for them to be actually in that conversation? Because there was clear pushback against Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party and former Governor Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party to be on a debate stage with Donald Trump and Secretary Hillary Clinton. So what would be necessary for a third party to effectively build a large enough following to be on the ballot and to fight for this populist idea of universal health care?
Right. One thing that I think is important here to remember is that the presidential election is just one election. We are very far. To be perfectly honest, we are very far from any kind of, I would say, real, change, in bipartisanship. We are far from that. That doesn't mean that we cannot accomplish it, but we have to be realistic with our expectations. By realistic, what do we do first? What is our first, step? First of all, focusing on a local level. Take the case of Kshama Sawant in Seattle. Kshama Sawant in Seattle, who is a Socialist Alternative member and who actually has won, a local election in Seattle twice at this point, was crucial in accomplishing the $15 minimum wage there. We are very close, and we're doing our best to win an election in Minneapolis with Ginger Jetson, who is also who has been already crucial in having $15 minimum wage in Minneapolis, which we have now. I mean, it's progressive, but it's going to take place regardless. Those are the kind of steps that, while they may look small, they are really fundamental if we want to develop any kind of massive change. Now, keep that in mind. We accomplished this to small victories, which we think that they're important, but they're small nonetheless, with an organization of 1,000 members. Our goal here is, or our speculation here is, what would happen if we were 10,000 or 20,000 members? That is our project, essentially. It's like if only, with 1,000 members, an organization that does not take corporate donations, where, the majority of us are volunteers, where the majority of us are working people. If we have been able to accomplish this, what could we accomplish on a larger level? That's the question that I would like to throw out there.
And essentially, it seems like activism is an important issue to you. So what have you done specifically here in the city of Chicago in regards to activism and trying to institute social change?
Right. So something that we've been doing for a while now is we have been having meetings in Pilsen. So Pilsen is a neighborhood here in Chicago, in the west side. Primarily, where we have a significant portion of the population who are undocumented workers, who have migrated at some point or another from Mexico. And an important fight for us is, on the one hand, for the rights of these people who actually are fundamental contributors to the economy, but secondly, to mobilize these people. So something that we've done is to be in the streets, to be tabling outside, talking, gauging, what their interest in, say, single payer is, or public education, high quality public education, or housing. Like Pilsen, for example, is a neighborhood that has been highly gentrified, where rents have increased substantially in the past 10 years. We're concerned about that, and we're trying to work with and listen to these people. I think that this is important if we want to build a coalition, a multi-ethnic coalition to fight against Trump and this capitalist system.
All right, well, that's a great note to end it on. Thank you for joining us. And this is Kid of Heartlands Media. Please like and follow us on all our social media links. Peace, everyone.